And also understanding, I always like to say this, it's okay not to be okay. It's
Mm,
totally okay when we're not okay because we are perfectly imperfect. We're not here for everything to work 100% all the time,
mm.
right? So it's a reminder that we are not here to be perfect and that it's okay when we're not feeling okay and not to go ahead and just beat ourselves up because we cannot do a specific movement or because we just don't feel well that day because we feel like we want to cry that day because our hormones are all over the
So I
place.
think it's very fun that you teach pole fitness and you coach because you can draw that parallel for people of like, hey,
Yes.
you wouldn't expect to have results in one
Mhm,
session. And
mhm.
sometimes what's hard for my clients to hear is like, it is totally normal to feel overwhelmed right now or like you feel worse in the first week. And then it doesn't mean that the coaching is not working. It means that it is.
But I think everybody comes at some point like our body is our enemy. And it's not, it's our greatest ally. But because we're changing and we feel sometimes that our body, it's like betraying us as we get older. So when we understand that that's not the case, that's when things start to shift. And like I said, it's so funny that it has nothing to do with the poll or the coaching, but the problem is the same. Does that make sense? Like it's the same. So I
Right.
always tell them, coming from me that I started in my 50s. And I'm coming from the couch, Christina. I was not athletic at all, like not athletic background, like totally none.
Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast, your weekly dose of soul to soul conversation that will have you saying peace out to your 9 to 5 to explore in your sacred calling. The topics center around conscious business and interviews with the folks who started them. We'll be exploring the art of being human and what it takes to live your life fully expressed and financially free.
Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast. I'm here with my former client, soon to be current client again, Martha Bass. She's an author, she's an artist, she's a facilitator, and I want to read her bio because it's so beautiful. And that's something that we worked on together, messaging. But
Mhm.
Martha Bass is a transformation coach and pole fitness instructor dedicated to empowering women over 50 to break free from shame, embrace their confidence, and feel comfortable in their own skin. Through her coaching and movement based approach, she helps women let go of the BS and rediscover their sensuality, proving it's never too late to own your power and feel sexy. Welcome, the sexy Martha Bass.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. One, because I love you. I love working with you. I think we have done an amazing work, and especially because it's important to share this message and be able to help women embrace and, like let go of the shame and just embrace who we truly are through movement.
Oh, I love that. Yes. And one of the remarkable things about Martha, this isn't the most remarkable thing, but she came into my program and she immediately went viral. But why this is remarkable is not, hey, we're viral over here. But Martha teaches on something that is so needed, that is so beautiful, that really made an impact in her audience that she started to gain more and more followers and more leads, and she sold
Mhm.
out her first program. But
Yeah.
why don't you talk a little bit about what you were sharing that was touching on so many people's lives? What about being sexy over 50 was like a shock to your audience?
Yeah, because first of all, I love to empower women over 50 because I started all this movement when I was 50. Okay. And it's a necessity to know that we have the right to break those like old beliefs, right? So I empower women over 50 to break free from shame, reconnect with their bodies, and embrace their confidence, sensuality, and authentic power. And I think one of the biggest thing is because I used to erroneously mistake sensuality with sexuality. So
Mm.
I saw myself in the midst of really like not authentically sharing that part because I used to mistaking it like that it was the same thing, and it's really not the same thing. So when I understood the difference and I started sharing that difference and knowing that it's okay to be sexy, it's okay to be confident, it's okay to be sensual, then that's when everything like really took off. And like it's just like, oh, I want a little bit of that. And it's okay to feel free and sexy and sensual while you're in menopause and after menopause, because it's not like a bad thing to do or to be or to want to experience.
Ah, thank you so much for sharing. I think
Mhm.
so many people out there are going to resonate with what you just said because there's so much shame in our
Mhm.
society around sexuality and sensuality.
Yes.
What I love about what you're speaking to is like maybe even for your audience or your clients, like if we went out on the internet, we were just talking about sex, 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 that would be missing the point of what your here, your mission. That would be missing the point of your mission. And your mission is like being sexy in their skin, actually feeling their skin and being able to move in ways and be healthy and feel beautiful as they are. So why don't you speak a little bit about that? What has been your experience with helping people over menopause that are over 50 or experiencing menopause? What are some tips that you can give to the women out there? As where I mean, I'm in my 40s, so this will be my era someday, and I plan on continuing to be sexy and sensual, but with your help. Tell us some advice.
Well, first, I want to remind you that my mission is to create a safe space where women feel seen, celebrated, and inspired to move, right? Both physically and emotionally toward a life of self love, freedom, and self expression. And that it's also to remind us because I believe that age sometimes brings like a disconnect with our bodies, right? It's like a shame. Sometimes we mistreat our bodies in a way that we criticize it because it's giving up on us per se,
Mm.
right? Like it's giving up on us because it changes. The reality is that our body changes. Things are not in the same place. We have to build more muscle to actually keep the same, like the same physicality. We have to work harder. So, really try to accept where we are. And if we want to change, do it through love and not through hate. I think that's one of the main keys. I do teach love heals, but loving yourself doesn't start like by loving yourself if you don't even like where you are. So I think it's a process of acceptance, liking, and then the love comes truly when we like and accept who we are in that very moment. And that's embracing truly the journey of where we are, not just the transformation, like I want to get here, but embracing every single step of where we are and liking the process, that it's okay not to be okay. Does that make sense?
Oh, I love that you said that. I needed to hear that message.
Mhm.
Because personally, as someone who just turned 41, I
Mhm.
like have all these gray hairs, and sometimes I want to dye it, but this is so new for me. And I maybe I'll dye it one day, but like it's
Uh,
so new for me to like have these beautiful, gorgeous gray streaks. So before I go and dye it, like I will someday, but before
mhm.
I go and diet, I want to like really love on it. To be like, this is so cool. This is accepting. Like it's so like, oh, like my eyes over here. So like when I wear my hair up, I
But you
have these
look
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Isn't it fun? I know. It's like it's become right. You're seeing the process. Your process just happened right now.
Mhm.
Like I'm accepting my grades, and then I
Yes,
reveal it and I like them. And now I'm like, I might love them so much that I might not even dye my hair. And
correct.
what I also love about what you teach, because you teach body stuff, you teach whole fitness and
Mm.
movement. And why you went viral too is like you were up on that pole. I'm
I
over
was.
50. You were like, meh, 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 and you showed the process. Your viral reel showed the process of like one of the first times where it's like, I was like, you
Horrible.
love, yeah,
Horrible.
yeah, and you loved yourself enough to keep going. You accepted that the only way to get to the top of the pole is to keep practicing. And you wouldn't have been able to do that without going like, hey, I like this. I like the burn in my muscles after a good full fitness class. So how, what are some like thoughts and problems that your people come to you with in your pole dancing class or in your coaching where they're like, yeah, like I don't want to continue. Have you ever met someone who's like,
Oh
never
my
mind?
God, all the time. And that was me too. The thing, and it's funny because it doesn't matter if it's in the pole fitness classes or just in coaching that has nothing to do with the pole. But I think everybody comes at some point, like our body is our enemy. And it's not, it's our greatest ally. But because we're changing and we feel sometimes that our body, it's like betraying us as we get older. So when we understand that that's not the case, that's when things starts to shift. And like I said, it's so funny that it has nothing to do with the pole or the coaching, but the problem is the same. Does that make sense? Like it's the same. So I
Right.
always tell them, coming from me that I started in my 50s. And I'm coming from the couch, Christina. I was not athletic at all, like not athletic background, like totally none, right? So if I'm able to do it, you can too. And I came into the pole fitness not knowing that I was going to like it. It was not easy because it is a very hard sport. It is a challenging sport, especially when you don't have the strength to do so at the beginning, right? But it not only that, but it also confronted me with the part of myself that I've been ignoring for years, which is like that not feeling pretty or not feeling that I'm fit enough or not feeling that I'm skinny enough and all that shame that also comes with the body, with not feeling good enough. And on top of that, that pole fitness, it's not like a real sport. So I really faced myself through all those challenges. And I work with you in the coaching, and then I work with my fitness coach in that exercise area, and it's like, no, it's okay because I really enjoyed it. And it's not only the pole fitness because it's really any movement. It could be any dance, anything that is connected to your sensuality, because sensuality really means just having the connection with all your senses, right? With the touch, with the smell, with the movement. And that's the beauty of it. So it really doesn't even have to be pole fitness. Any beautiful movement that allows us to connect with your femininity, that it has the power of healing, of the confidence, of the self-expression.
Yes, I want in. I want to get up on that pole. What I was reminded of when you were speaking was all of these times and things that I did and learned seemingly too late. Like, even
Uh-huh.
though I've done a lot, I always was like a late bloomer. Like, I knew people who were traveling in their 20s. I didn't start till I was 30.
Mm,
I didn't start playing music till I was 20 something. And this isn't still young, but it was like all the people that I knew that were playing music had started like as children.
early.
Yeah. And so it brings me to like it doesn't even matter what age we are,
Yeah.
but that thought of I'm too late or I'm
Yes.
behind. So how do
Yes.
you guide people when they have that thought? Help us.
Oh, first of all, I coach myself because I've been there myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like I started everything so early because I got married so young and I had my kids so young. So now I'm doing everything that I didn't do when I was younger, per se, the time for me. So it was really a struggle at the beginning because especially in the pole fitness, everybody's younger, everybody's stronger, everybody's so petite. And I, went through the process of like, no, this is not for me. I'm not even gonna try. But then one of my mentors, she says, no, Martha, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. So when I started, it was like that challenge, but through meditations, through affirmations, and definitely through the mirror work that I do, that allowed me to like say, no, this is okay, like it's safe. And like I said, it's a safe space for us to really have that self-expression and the self-acceptance. It's not with just one thing, but it's a process of different things and just doing it again and again and again, and being kind to yourself in understanding that it's a process. It's a process. And I think that's where somebody like you or somebody like me comes handy, because then, we need that reinforcement of, hey, it's okay. It's being okay with the process, with the journey, not necessarily getting there. It's the process of understanding how that works, and that it's okay to keep going, and a reminder, daily reminders.
Ah, I love that. You could be my daily reminder. Remind me to love and accept myself. What I'm hearing too is like it- I keep coming up with this problem again and again of like people think that they're gonna come into the coaching program and everything's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
good.
and like we're totally like they build the momentum or they're in their first class and but then they was same with the pole. It's like then they go home and they're sore as F.
Mhm,
And we know that from movement practices that
mhm.
you wouldn't expect to have abs or upper body strength by just
Right.
going to one class. So I
Correct.
think it's very fun that you teach pole fitness and you coach because you can draw that parallel for people of like,
Yes.
hey, you wouldn't expect to have results in one
Mhm,
session. And
mhm.
sometimes what's hard for my clients to hear is like, it is totally normal to feel overwhelmed right now or like you feel worse in the first week. And then it doesn't mean that the coaching's not working. It means that it is. And there will always be challenges. But when
Mhm.
you have support, when you have you as a daily reminder saying, this is a part of the process, reminding them it's a process and that transformation takes presence and consistency, that they don't feel like, you know, keep bringing that story back of like, something's wrong with me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And also understanding, I always like to say this, it's okay not to be okay. It's
Mm,
totally okay when we're not okay, because we are perfectly imperfect. We're not here for everything to work 100% all the time.
mm,
Right? So it's a reminder that we are not here to be perfect, and that it's okay when we're not feeling okay, and not to go ahead and just beat ourselves up because we cannot do a specific movement, or because we just don't feel well that day, because we feel like we want to cry that day because our hormones are all over the place.
mhm,
And movement is healing. Movement is healing, because our body needs to release all those pressed emotions that we have held for so long. When we don't learn to release them and just move with the freedom of saying, hey, this is okay, feeling comfortable, right? Even dancing to a song. Like if somebody doesn't want to come to a pole class or anything like that, just being home and turning out, whatever music that you like, and listening out loud, and allowing your body to truly, fully express itself, and feel that release, feel that comfortable in your own skin, that you give yourself permission to just move in a beautiful way without criticizing it because you're not doing it correctly.
mm. Thank you. Yeah. Sensuality and perfection are not the same thing. And
No.
where were you yesterday? I can just imagine. Yesterday, it was a give up day. It was an in the bed day. But today, I'm feeling much better, moving around. But I'm wondering, like if I had you as my coach. And so I'm like reminding everybody, like, hey, we're in this conversation for you to see that there are people out there to help you. And we're going to give Martha's information later because I'd love if you're interested to reach out to one of us and I can connect you with Martha if this is resonating with you
Mhm.
because we all need a Martha. Yesterday, I needed a Martha. I needed someone to remind me that like I could stay in the bed all day or what if I just turned on the music? What if I just started moving?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then it's not too late. Today's a new day. Turn
Mm-hmm.
on the music, move a
Yes.
little bit, you know?
Yes.
And yeah, we forget. And we are just women practicing these principles. I teach all sorts of tools to
Mm-hmm.
get out of stuckness and like, a downward spiral. And yet sometimes we need that reminder and mentors
Yes.
need mentors, coaches need coaches. But this is your reminder, if you're listening out there, that like you don't have to, nobody's watching. When they say dance, like
Yes,
nobody's watching.
nobody's watching. And you will definitely feel better. Your body starts to move to, release all those happy hormones and the beautiful chemicals that our brain needs to feel comfortable and function and active. And music does that to you. And like I said, you could start by yourself in your room, in your house, whatever, and start moving, and you will feel the difference. You will feel the difference. Just, if you don't have to go to the gym, but just start in your house with the music, with the beautiful song, jump around, sing. And I promise you, you will definitely feel better. Your energy will shift. Nothing changes if we don't shift our energy. And that's a
Mm,
beautiful way to change our energy, music
yes.
and movement.
Oh, I love this so much. And what would you say to somebody who's stuck in their mind like I was yesterday? Don't tell everybody. Just kidding. I hope
I
everyone
know,
watches
right?
this.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anybody I'm not perfect. Just kidding. I love sharing from my mistakes, and I love sharing the practices and principles that I teach on, even and especially when I forget them for a day or two. Because it's
Mhm.
not about, always moving or always being stagnant. It's not about
Sure.
never thinking and always moving. Like we need to have a balance.
Mhm.
However, like sometimes we can get out of balance by going overthinking. And
Mhm.
like even if you're doing something like creating an offer, my clients create offers, they expand their audience, they attract clients. That's why you came to work with me. And it worked, but not just because I was teaching you everything that you needed to know. It was also because you are a sensual person. You can get yourself out of overthinking, leave it for a moment and go dance and then see how you feel afterwards. So it's such
Mhm.
a beautiful reminder that we don't need more information always. And another course isn't probably what either of our clients need, but
True.
more so like the support. And so
Mhm.
how do you support your people in your offerings? Like pole dancing, maybe you have a little less mindset support, and then in the coaching, much more mindset support. But what are some? How do you support your people when they come to you with these problems?
Well, first of all, it's a daily reminder, right? Like we
Mm,
do to each other, like with me, like, hey, this. And also, it's one of the things that have worked for me to have everything in an agenda. That's one of the
yeah,
things that I learned from you, just to
uh-huh,
learn to put everything in an agenda, even if it's going to be make, pay your bill or whatever, right? So follow that. And also, to learn to do things when we don't feel like doing those things. I think that's a big, big aha for me to learn to do things when I don't feel like doing it, because not always I'm gonna feel like doing it. But then once I start doing it, then the energy shifts. However, it's also important that there's some days that I really need the rest and I really don't feel like doing it because my body needs it. And if I choose to consciously choose, I think this is a big key to consciously choose that this day I choose not to do anything just because I really need to reset and my body's asking me. The next day, when I start over again, not to beat myself up
mm,
because I chose that day to really
mm,
do nothing, but giving myself the permission to do it once in a while and allowing myself not to the first day and the second day to do it again and the third day to do it again,
right.
because then we go down the spiral, like you say, right? So it's like down the rabbit hole. It's like, okay, if you're going to choose one day not to do anything because you really feel like not today, give yourself that gift, do it with love, but don't fall into the next day again. Like the next day, you got to do it and you got to commit. And that's why you have people like us to commit, to show for yourself, to give the support, and then to keep going. So it's the beating yourself up, giving yourself permission, but then keep going.
Yeah, I'm totally using this interview as a coaching call because I needed to hear this message so
You're
much.
funny.
Yes, and this is what I did yesterday. It was like, yeah, it was like exactly what you said. I'm like, I am going. I even said this to someone. I'm like, tomorrow is a new day.
Yes, yes.
Today is a waste day,
Mhm. Yeah,
and it
and
is
we
that.
need those
Yes,
days.
I loved what you said. It's a gift. And the gift, like to make sure it's a gift, is that nuance of I'm not shaming myself the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going, okay, we're up, and it might be a slower day, and it might be like, getting back into the groove and building the momentum. But shame is the killer of
Oh,
sensuality.
it
Why
is
don't you talk a
horrible.
little bit about that?
Yes, shame is I used to confuse like shame and guilt,
Hmm.
right? But guilt is just the things that we feel because we don't do anything or because we don't continue to take care of the problem. But shame, it's like I think that's one of the lowest energy. Just creating that shame, that's like a hater, like a hatred feeling towards yourself. And that's imagine just carrying that shame in our bodies. It reflects in our decisions. It reflects in everything that we do. Shame is like the killer of all emotions, I think. And that's, yeah, no, no. So not shaming yourself, but accepting, liking, and be kind to yourself. I just love to take in few minutes and really appreciate my body and loving my body. And it doesn't take a long time. But if I'm feeling kind of that energy of shame or guilt, like just take a couple minutes and take a nice deep breath, close my eyes, put my hands over my heart, and just tell myself that I love you, that I'm grateful for you, that I'm grateful because you're pumping my blood, because you're working through me, and I'm sorry if I don't appreciate you. But that creates a feeling of gratitude, and our bodies love gratitude. So if you choose to do nothing that day, at least you gave yourself the gift of gratitude, of loving yourself, and then the next day will be better, but not doing in a shameful way. So take a moment to put your hands on your heart, tell your heart how much you love him, and say thank you for working for me, for pumping, for doing all those beautiful things that you do, even though I don't even pay attention. And that shifts your feeling for you. And hold your
True.
body, touch your legs, touch yourself, and say, I fucking love you. Thank
Are you
you.
guys doing that out there? I love you,
Yes, I
everybody.
do. I do this exercise sometimes at the pool, sometimes at my coaching clients, like just be grateful because you're here.
Ah, it shifts everything.
Yes.
Oh, and even if you can't be grateful for yourself, like sometimes we're in such like this spiral of negative thoughts about
Hmm.
ourselves. And that's why you're there, to teach
Hmm.
people how to get out of that. But one thing that helped me was like I had my cat on my chest and
Yes.
I could feel my cat's heart beating. And
Yeah.
I thought that that was so cute. And I could tear up because I'm like, if we can't be grateful for ourselves right
Hmm.
away, I was like grateful for my bed. I was like grateful for my
Yes.
cat. But then
Yes.
eventually it seeps in to feel like a little kitty heart on your heart. That's
Right?
everybody should have a cat or a little animal that they love. But yeah, and then it starts to shift. And thank you so much for this message. I know all of our listeners are going to absolutely love it and be like transformed today because we think also that transformation is a process, but because we need to practice these principles and practices consistently. However, it's also what I'm hearing is that transformation can be daily. We have these small little transformations by just taking a moment before we leave the house and going like, wait a minute, I love you. I love you.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why, like because some people they haven't done it before and they may feel uncomfortable saying I love you, right? Because there's so many traumas or there's so many problems or we are just not liking who we are. But if you are not comfortable yet saying I love you, like I truly love you, and you feel it from your heart, then
Mm.
saying at least thank you because you're here, because you're working for me, because I can move, because I can eat, because I'm breathing, then at least that alone creates a shift. And that's what we want here, to just create a shift, at least just gratitude. Gratitude is the best. It's,
Yeah.
it's just like a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy and a beautiful sensation. So why not just say thank you, right? When we have something, we like to say thank you. So
Mm.
just say thank you. to yourself, to your beauty, to your organs. If you don't want to say because you don't like it, just to your organs, they're working for you.
I love that too because it sounds like it is a process for many of your women
Mm-hmm.
too because they've been so conditioned to have these negative comments about themselves. I
Yeah.
remember growing up, and that was predominantly my life. Was like you get together with your girlfriends, you look in the mirror, you talk about what you want to change.
Mm-hmm.
It even was transmitted through my parents. Was like in the mirror taking diet pills. I remember taking diet pills when I was very young, and so luckily I have broke out of it through
Mm-hmm.
coaching, through spiritual practices, through these
Yes.
kinds of practices that you're teaching on.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while there'll be something pops up, but I'm so grateful that I did learn this kind of stuff pretty early, but it doesn't stop. It's like it doesn't matter when you learn it, because if you have never learned to say I love you in the mirror before and you're 50, it's not too late. That you can
Yeah.
start now to
Mm-hmm.
love your body and do that process. And to what I'm thinking too is like, because when I first started to like look in the mirror and be like, I love you, I was like, oh,
Yes.
this is stupid, or like, I'm like, this is lame, or like, and it was just my body and my system being like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
no.
No, what do you mean? Look all the wrinkles and this and that. And it's funny because you say that because yeah, we do learn to criticize ourselves, right? Since an early age. Like everybody. I see it sometimes with my grandkids and I'm like, who told you this? Like, what are you talking about? That's not real, right? So we do learn that. But it's also funny. And one thing that happened to me, I was born and raised in Mexico. If I would look at myself in the mirror, or I would say, oh my God, I'm pretty, or I feel pretty today, that was wrong too, because then you're being vain. Right? So there's a contradiction. Like, do I tell myself I love you? Do I tell myself I'm pretty or am I being vain? So when I started doing the mirror work that I learned from Louise Hay when I went, to school, and she actually puts you through the mirror and you have to look yourself very closely in the mirror until you start with liking yourself and looking yourself in your eyes and saying, I love you. And you're beautiful and I mean you're gorgeous and you could do this and you have the ability to do so. To me that was a challenge because I didn't want to sound like I was vain or I was telling myself that I'm pretty or and it's like if you don't tell yourself who is of course we all have our own beauty in our own way and it's okay. It's not in an arrogant way, it's not in a I'm better than you or anything, but it's that connection with you to give yourself the permission to say, hey, I love you, I like you, and it's okay, we got this, and you're just perfectly imperfect just the way you are.
Ah, yes, you get to love yourself just the way you
Yeah.
are. And I swear, like, the more I started saying that I love me and I'm pretty, and like catching myself in the mirror and doing the opposite of
Mhm.
degrading or picking out flaws, just going, wow, you're cute, you got it going on. Like, it, it was reflected in the outside world. It was reflected with more people like being like, wow, you're 40 what? Like,
Yeah.
that, especially, I'm sure you get that all the time. Like, you're 50? And then you're like, yeah. And it's even more
Yes, I
exciting when
want to
you
be
age.
55.
Oh, right. It's even more exciting when you age because, there are so many people that give up and their thoughts are old and
Mhm.
their thoughts are outdated and their thoughts are from the old world of like criticizing and all of that. And even with all my gray hairs, people are like, what? You're 41 years old? And it's like,
Mhm.
yes. And it comes from within. Like this young, like cheeks up to here smile comes from I'm truly happy, even though,
Uh-huh.
you wouldn't have noticed yesterday. Also, it's the Pisces new moon, everybody. So everybody's
Ah,
crying, right? Like,
yeah. And
but
it's
at
okay
the
to cry
point
too.
of this filming, right?
Right.
You still love yourself when you cry. Tears
Yeah.
are maybe like a face mask to put the tears on the cheek.
I don't know where we got this false idea because we all have it that
Mm.
life has to be perfect all the time, right? Life it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. I mean, it's sorry, I need to get that. It's just going up and down, up and down. That's life. I mean, that's how we learn, that's how we get better, that's how we grow. It's just
Mm.
the way that life works. So I don't think that there's definitely have to be no shame in going through our issues, through our hormones, to our release, to our, crying. It's just accepting it, that that's the step of growth.
Yeah. Wow. That brings me to a question because I want to start talking about your offerings and how people can find you. But one thing that I'm moving through as we're doing coaching, coaching
Mhm.
Christina session is like how like sharing in community. And I believe that, well, your pole fitness is in a group and that your coaching programs are group as well. The one that you filled up was a group program. We were kind of talking about that before. We like private, but like also I've been in groups and groups are amazing. But what do you see the benefits of like healing in community? I just told all my friends yesterday what I was experiencing. It was so hard. I have a vulnerability hangover, as Brene Brown says. But also, like, if we don't tell people what's going on with us, how are they supposed to support us? How are they supposed to be that daily reminder for us that, like, hey,
Mhm.
you got this, and where are your practices? And so, yeah, like, what do you find working in a group? Do your people come together and form a sisterhood? What is that like?
They do. They do. And I love it because I always like to remind them at the beginning of it, every session, that it is a safe place, right? We want to make sure that we feel safe. I think that's the number one principle. Understand that all of us are here in the group for the same reason, right? We're all here for the same reason, and everybody has their own problems, their own insecurity. And what I like about the groups is that when one person starts to share, then the other ones start to understand, oh, it's not only me. Like I feel the same way. And then I share my story. Somebody else shares the story because we always have that person that it's okay sharing. We always have that person that doesn't want to share or that doesn't feel comfortable.
Mhm.
But when one starts to share, and especially after I share my story, and then the other ones start feeling more comfortable, and that's when the community grows. And it's like, okay, we're in this together. We're not alone, and we like really. It's not I'm not weird by myself per se weird, right? Or I'm not just sad all the time by myself. Like we are all going through the same different challenges. And I say same different because at the end of the day, it's just that we don't feel good enough at some point, and that creates the whatever problem that we're facing. It's that not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy because we want to be or we want to feel in a different way or look a different way. And
Yeah.
so underneath every problem, I believe it's just not feeling good enough.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that brings us to, hiring help and getting inside of the room and getting the support system that you need. Like maybe all say if we're approaching 40s and 50s and we feel like our friends or our parents or the people around us have like given up or they don't have the same aspirations. They're not talking about sensuality or sexuality. They're
Mhm.
not thinking about purpose, at our age. You want to
Yeah,
find your
come to
purpose
us.
at
We do
40?
talk about purpose,
Yeah, exactly. And
creating our
so,
goals.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's so beautiful.
It
So,
is.
and it's okay to find that new community. It doesn't mean we have to like kick everybody out of our lives, but maybe we can
Right.
talk about
No.
that.
Hmm.
Like sometimes, getting into a community where they understand you is enough for you to realize that you can be friends with these people or you can uh, understand these people and have compassion for these people while you're still working and growing. And a lot of times we stay stuck to kind of like keep in alignment with our current friends. But if they don't have a growth mindset, it's important that we get inside of a room of other women and men who are thinking differently, who want to transform, who are investing in themselves, who are having deeper conversations. And that's truly the way we
Yeah.
are transforming.
Yeah.
So why
You
don't you
know,
tell people? Go ahead.
because like if you see that somebody else is doing what you hope for, then that gives you permission to do it too, because you know that just you're able to do it as well, right? So it's important who we surround ourselves with. Like I make myself the goal of really getting the best shape when I turn 60, like really like be in the best shape. That's going to take some time because like I said, I come from the couch, but so I have to surround myself in that community, in that area where people are already there, right? Because they're going to pull you in, they're going to help you, they're going to give you the advice, they're going to let you know that you're able to do it when you don't feel that you are able to do it. I have a lady that I competed with, she's 72, 72, and she competed pole fitness at 72. So it's like you want to be able to be with that kind of people so they remind you that it's possible, along with your coaches, along with your mentors, right? It's important because we're going to have enough people that said, no, what are you crazy? You want to still doing pole when you're 60? That's stupid. You're old. You're fat.
How dare they?
How
Oh,
dare
we
tell
both
me
get a
that I
little
can be
excited.
sexy at 60.
I think we both get excited to like stick it to those people to be like, "You damn right, I."
That's right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, control me. Come on,
Mhm.
yeah.
Tell me I can do it. I'll show you I can.
I love that. So anybody out there that's afraid of what people might say, just take like mine and Martha's energy, like borrow our belief in you because it's actually quite fun to show people too. And that could
Mhm.
be a little be seen as like, oh, you're just doing this for revenge. You ever heard of the revenge body? Like maybe
Right?
whatever gets
That's
you
the
there,
best body.
whatever gets you there. That's so fun. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Well, I usually end these calls with one question
Okay.
for everybody. And then we'll get into your offerings and how they can find you and reach out to
Mhm.
you. But I wanted to ask if there was anything that you could tell your younger self to help her get off the couch. Maybe it was something you did tell her. And I'm going to name this from couch to coaching or from couch to fitness.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe we see, but to help your younger self, and this could be, just 10 years ago,
Mhm.
um, to let her know that she can do it, that she's gonna have the life she always wanted. What would you tell her?
What would I tell my younger self? I think one of the main things is that you're safe and I got you. Like you're safe. For me, that would be it. Like you're safe because you're not alone, even though it may seem like I was alone at that time. Like it's okay. Like, no, you're safe. I got you. Like me, myself, your older self, I got you. And I'm gonna hold you and I'm gonna be with you and I'm gonna pull you. So trust me. If you have that feeling of doing it, just trust me because I got you. Like just follow it, just continue because I got you. So knowing that your older self is waiting for you and it's holding your hand and it's pulling you because you're not alone, just and believe in that future self that it's already there. So the safety and the believing of knowing that she's waiting for you and she's holding your hand through the process.
I love that so much. I'm going to leave my future prayer meditation in the
Yes.
link. And because this is exactly what I believe that
Yeah.
time isn't linear and we are always in support of that younger self and she
Hmm.
hears us.
Yeah.
And it's such a testament of like why your people trust you and they
Hmm.
come to you and that you've become such a magnet because you tell yourself that, then you tell your people that. Like, don't
Hmm.
worry, I've got you. I've been there.
Hmm.
Join us. Let try this. Coach you on this.
Hmm.
And yeah, I tell my clients often like that know, like, and trust initiation is like if we can trust ourselves, if we can have our own backs, if we can practice what we preach and go first, then that is felt. So thank you
Yes.
so much for shifting your energy, for living in your purpose. So I get to live mine and have these beautiful conversations with you and continue to coach you in this next
Yes,
era
I
with your
love
new
it. I can't
offering.
wait. Yes,
So
yes.
tell us about your offerings and how people can find you.
Well, obviously, at the Instagram page that we could tag it in here, and
Hmm.
marthabass.com. And I am creating my next offer with you, so it should be coming out at the end of March. So I'm excited for that. But in the meantime, in Instagram, absolutely, I post everything in there, everything that's going on. It's right there for you in my
Oh,
Instagram account.
so fun. It's marthabass.com. You've also written a book. Do you want to talk
Mhm.
a little bit about that? Because that is so, when she came to me and she was like, I wrote this book. I want to kickstart my coaching career, just like really launch this beautiful offer you had in your heart. And I'm like, this is the author of Love Heals. I am so honored to work with another author. I was so impressed by you. So why don't you talk about Love Heals and how they can grab
Yeah,
that book
Love
if they
Heals. I
want?
co-created that book with Dr. Carol Bliss, and that's already like a 20-year-old. So that Martha, it's not even here anymore.
Get a new book
But
in you.
that's the beginning of like my career and all of that stuff. And that's like really what gave me the opportunity to be here, just sharing my stories, where I come from and the insecurities that I had, the abusive relationship that I had, and all those things that I was able to overcome through this work are on that book that it's called Love Heals.
Ooh, so if you want to know all the juicy back details
Yes.
for the couch about Martha, because Martha is a personality, and I love that so much. Like that's why she's going viral. And for anyone out there that's worried about creating content and worried about going viral, it was never about that for us. But when Martha went
Correct.
out there, spoke
Mhm.
her truth, and finally owned her edge and owned what she really wanted to do, like
Yes.
people were just attracted to that. You filled up your program, and I'm going to help you fill up your next
Mhm.
one. If anyone's interested, and like just message us because this is going to be
Yes,
a great offer.
absolutely. Mhm. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Martha,
Thank
for
you,
being here.
Christina. Thank you. And I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.